The China's communist regime lie and deceive not only President Trump, but the entire world to the existence of the communist virus, COVID-19 coronavirus, and its impacts on its citizens and the many, many people who have died and the many, many, many millions and millions in China who are actually infected with it. Join me for a very special episode. This is the AI show. First of all, think about it. President Trump was given certain data and certain information from the World Health Organization and from the Chinese government, the communist regime. The World Health Organization was actually getting intel information from the communist regime, which came from the media apparatus. And their media apparatus completely controlled by the regime. And so are their intel agencies and their hospitals and military and police and pretty much everything. All their citizens are controlled by the regime and the internet. Everything is controlled. So it's controlled data. We've had our businesses, our media, like PR Newsbar, who actually put in a huge big tech galactic lawsuit that I put them as criminals because they prevented me from warning all the world's citizens that the world was in danger by removing my press release. They did that. And they're in China, as are a lot of different media, and they weren't reporting these things because they have deals with the Chinese government. And so are many businesses that are in China. So think about it. All this information was coming in, but we have the CIA and we have the FBI and the Secret Service and NSA. Why were they fooled? And why did they give negative information, untrue and false information to President Trump, including our deep state department, as President Trump called it? Well, some people may think they wanted to take him out. There are some entities that wanted to use this against President Trump and the world, 100%. But most of them, our intelligence community, were actually fooled by the intel. And I'll tell you why. AI systems were used. And the Chinese are professional liars, not just the government. Chinese who grew up in China, who were born under the communist regime, they were brainwashed within the system. It's like a jungle. You fight for your survival. 1.5 billion people, not enough food, not enough jobs. People become selfish, cruel, and it destroys their society instead of becoming selfless or altruistic or somewhere in the middle. So that's how has been the issue in China. The professional liars and their AI systems. So their AI systems, which Google and Eric Schmidt help build, they link up with all the facial recognition, the voice recognition, the apps like WeChat and QQ, all the different kind of apps that they have, and TikTok, and so many different things that the Chinese citizens have to use, and they're obligated to actually show their face and different biometrics to actually have access to data and services like food or travel or anything. So their entire information is controlled. Their military was sent in, and their military not only extracted people and quarantined them, but anyone they thought that would maybe speak out, they killed. Anyone they thought maybe could die in a week, they killed. They threw people by the tens of thousands per day in crematoriums. A lot of them were alive. You'll find out what I'm saying is true later on. This is 100% as true. It's an evil regime. The communist regime in China, it's evil. It's killed more than 120 million people. And we've been doing business with it. They've been guilty of war crimes against humanity, of human rights crimes that are just unspeakable, not just organ harvesting. So many different things. Read my book, Artificial Intelligence, Dangerous to Humanity. I've been trying to get everybody to read it, and it's been very, very difficult. I extracted more than 500 Chinese companies' intel. And I investigated over 600 Western companies that relate back to China. And the intel in this book, Artificial Intelligence, Dangerous to Humanity, is quite vast in terms of a summary. It interlinks everything. And it talked about the biodisease, engineered biodisease that endangers everybody, in addition to other things. So they deceived President Trump. They deceived the people around him as well, especially the neocons that have been giving President Trump trouble because they date back to the previous administration, and they have a certain framework of thinking. It's very difficult for them to understand these AI systems and how the Chinese communist regime really operates. Another thing is the Chinese regime has been getting beat down by President Trump. The trade war is never about a trade war. President Trump came into power and he saw that the previous presidents, including President Obama and a lot of different administrations, they knew that there was concentration camps. They knew that there was organ harvesting, but they let the businesses deals go on. They let people extract information from our universities like Harvard and our institutes, our think tanks, our corporations, big techs, our AI companies, all different things were extracted and taken back to China. They let this happen. They were negligent. So when President Trump came in, he has a huge mess in his hands. But he got so much incoming from so many people that hated him and different politicians that were connected with these think tanks, and they were connected with these institutes and these big tech companies, the AI companies that had money in stock and investments in China that were beholden to the Chinese communist regime. So it wasn't just people who were just emotionally maybe overreacting in certain degrees because they heard some things from President Trump and they wanted to take him out. No. There were so many things. The whole entire media was mobilized against him. So he saw that organ harvesting has happened. There's concentration. He wants to save the Falun Dafa, the Christian Tibetan Uyghurs, and he wants to stop the threat of China against the world. But he doesn't want to go after him with military because, a lot of people will die. So what did he do? The smart way: trade war, cut him from the knees. Then after that, the next step is just expose them. But then this virus hit. So what can we do? We expose them again. Internationally, demand the Chinese communist regime to step down. Everybody demand the Chinese communist regime to step down, completely dissolve its existence. It must not exist anymore. It's a plague on humanity. The Chinese communist regime is a plague to humanity. Millions of people have died in China from this virus, and it's being hidden from you. Think about it. Why would the world lock down over 3,000 people? They're lying. We have 89,000 people who've been infected in the U.S., and it surpassed China that has 1.5 billion and it broke out over there. They're professional liars, okay? Even the Chinese who make friends with Westerners, they're such professional liars that they social engineer them. And then when they get relations with these Westerners who actually know him for 20 years, they start picking up their habits and they start becoming professional liars out of habit. The Chinese are so good at lying, the Chinese communists, the ones who grew up under communism, that they're so good at lying that they don't even know they're lying themselves. That's how good they are lying. They're such professional. Their facial recognition, you will not understand a second of their thoughts. Anything, because they'll just look at you straight in the eye. Nothing will even move, and they'll say it like they believe it. Oh yeah, well, we only had 3,000 deaths. Sure. So they've endangered the world because they lied to everybody. That's their nature. They lie. So we need to expose the Communist Party. We also need to repent. Repent for anyone you've hurt, please. Repent. Repent for doing business with China. Repent for knowingly doing business with China. And President Trump, he wasn't doing business with China. No. He was cutting them out left and right. He was left and right, taking them off at the knees one by one. Because if he just pulled off business right away, he told everyone stop. Same as Secretary Pompeo. But if he did that, think about it. With all this attack by Pelosi, Adam Schiff, in the entire Obama administration are tweeting and making movements and making phone calls to Clinton. Oh, they got to get him. We can't let him reelect. Think about it. If he did that, he would just fall. He would ruin America. And China would win anyway. So he's very smart, but he needs our support. We need to stop attacking President Trump. It's enough. Okay? He's the world leader at the moment, and we have to take out the communist regime. It's enough. They lie too much. They endangered the whole world's people, okay? Enough. Please follow me on Twitter, Cyrus A. Parsa 1, C-Y-R-U-S-A, Parsa, P-A-R-S-A 1. Read the book, Artificial Intelligence, Danger to Humanity. Download it. A lot of people have plagiarized my work for the past 7 months and censored me. And people with big accounts on Twitter didn't back me up, and I couldn't warn the world's citizens, okay? everything I said in my books and my tweets, they've all come true, and there's more to come. So I'm here in an altruistic way. I'm trying to prevent big disasters to the world. I truly am. And I researched over 1,000 companies. No one in the world did that. I was ahead of our intelligence community and this. I was ahead of our media and any think tank that's getting billions of dollars, and I got zero money. So donate as well if you'd like to. If it's $5, $10, whatever it is, please donate, and please spread the word. Not about the book Artificial Intelligence, just about this message about the Chinese regime needs to be destroyed, dissolved, expelled, and support President Trump. Subscribe to this channel. I'll have videos out every day. Watch this a couple of times if you would. Just think about it. Think about what I said, the interconnection of everything. And share the video, please, with everybody. And retweet to support me on Twitter and other things. One more thing I want to say. I'm not against the left, okay? I'm not against people who don't like President Trump, who haven't liked. But right now, we are in a pandemic, and the world's citizens are at stake. I know some of the left have really deep-seated emotions, but please put them down. Put down this attachment. Put down your emotion. It's really hard, but let's just all come together and point at this communist CCP virus. It was created by them through negligence, and we need to come together as a human race. We really do. And Mr. President Trump, he's been on the China thing, right? So give him some credit about that. Let's support him and stop attacking him about this and that. And you know, Pelosi and these other people who've been in office 30, 40 years, they're endangering your life still by stirring up trouble, going after him behind the scenes, and rebutting and sort of trying to debunk anything President Trump and his administration does, and demurring. They're demurring a lot. Demur is a term attorneys use. It's kind of like deflecting. They deflect a lot, and they've been delaying his reaction. So, and he was lied to, as everyone else was as well, right? So, I hope President Trump reaches out to me directly this time. I know a lot of my information got up there, and some of the stuff was just so sophisticated with the AI things. It was really hard to grasp. For not many people in the world understood what I was trying to say in its entire context. So I hope he reaches out to me and brings me on, because there are stages of this, and I have solutions to solve a lot of issues and to reduce the number of losses to the world. Until next show, this is Cyrus A. Parsa with the AI organization, and this is the AI Show. Thank you.